I don't know how much more we're going to talk about Shedeur Sanders. I don't. But there is something that has happened. When something crazy and unexpected happens, people look for answers. So you and I and people who cover the NFL over the last 3 or 4 days are trying to provide answers. Yeah. And there was more yesterday from a Pittsburgh Post-Gazette writer. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Okay, so the Steelers, by not drafting Shedeur Sanders, remember, there's only about 3 teams we thought were going to take a quarterback in round 1. Tennessee, the Giants, who were clearly not interested, bad interview with Shedeur, and then Pittsburgh, for sure. Cleveland, by trading down, told you they may get a backup, but they're going to get their starting quarterback next year. Well, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette writer yesterday told Rich Eisen that the Steelers were not looking at Shedeur Sanders. They were looking at backups. Like the LA Rams, the Steelers and Rams, this is what I told you. I didn't buy the Rams wanted Jackson Dart. They were interested. They thought Jackson Dart was interesting, but the Steelers, the Rams, the Browns, next year is the year they want the quarterback. This was a backup quarterback draft. So that's more information on Shedeur. Pittsburgh was never in the starting quarterback market. They wanted to get the roster ready for Aaron Rodgers, draft a backup. That's why Aaron Rodgers kind of took their word for it, but wanted to wait. But let me just say this. Can we stop with this narrative? It's the worst take and narrative happening in sports now. You know, the NFL just doesn't know what they're doing with quarterbacks. Timeout. Let me tell you first-round quarterbacks currently in the NFL. Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow, Allen, Herbert, Stafford, Jaden Daniels, Aaron Rodgers, C.J. Stroud, Jared Goff, Jordan Love, Kyler Murray. Oh, by the way, Baker and Sam Darnold. Not to mention, Drake May looks really good. Bo Nix looks really good. Caleb Williams is really talented. That doesn't even count the Pro Bowler Tua, who I'm not a huge fan of. Almost all. Jalen Hurts fell to the second. Yeah, he got benched in college. He had to transfer. He's smaller than average and still not a great pocket quarterback if you listen to Greg Cosell, who I trust. The truth is, in my life, overwhelmingly, Bradshaw, Aikman, Peyton, Marino, overwhelmingly, Mahomes, Lamar, they've all been first-round picks. It's not easy to do this, but stop making Shedeur and Deion Sanders the victim here. They're not. It's all really explainable. Shedeur didn't hire an agent. Big mistake. He just listened to his dad. Bigger mistake. Deion had the talent to sandbag interviews. Shedeur doesn't. So, yes, Brock Purdy fell to the 7th, but he was 1-6 against playoff teams last year when many of his stars weren't healthy. And nobody thinks Brock Purdy is an elite world-class Josh Allen athlete. He's not close. Yes, Joe Montana went in the 3rd round, but he doesn't win those Super Bowls without the greatest offensive coach in the history of the league, Bill Walsh. And Brady got a bunch of Super Bowls, and he went in the 6th round. And he doesn't win all those early Super Bowls without the greatest coach/defensive coach in league history, Bill Belichick. It's all explainable, okay? In my life, the best quarterbacks have overwhelmingly been in the 1st round. Here's the other thing to consider, is that young men, personnel is hard, but judging young men at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 is hard. Boys mature more slowly than girls. Baker Mayfield, I didn't think was ready at the time to be a franchise quarterback. He is now. This is hard in the NBA. Best player in the NBA is Jokic. He was a 2nd rounder. Best defensive player ever is Draymond, 2nd rounder. The Knicks' best player, Jalen Brunson, 2nd rounder. It's hard. Young men mature more slowly, frontal lobe brain stuff, and it's tough. People miss all the time. And by the way, it's not just quarterback. Max Crosby, Puka Nacua. It's hard. You just don't know. Yes, Shedeur was underdrafted, in my opinion. I would have taken him if I was Pittsburgh, but I didn't know Pittsburgh had an Aaron Rodgers deal. The story in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, they were never really interested. They're not going to take a quarterback, a starting quarterback this year. So listen, take a deep breath. You can't sandbag interviews. You can't do it. You can't not hire an agent. You can't not work out at the combine. You can't have, let's be honest, a cringy draft room with legendary all over it if you're a B prospect in a really weak quarterback draft. Greg Olsen yesterday.
has he shown at 2 different spots in colleges that he could go to teams that didn't necessarily have a great tradition of winning and turn the program around and bring attention and energy and buzz? Absolutely. He did it twice. So I'm not throwing him yet. I'm not throwing him to the wolves and saying he has no career, but I think he needs to take a good hard reset and say, you know what? It's all about ball. It's all about me giving myself to have a chance to have a career in this league. And if it's as a backup and then I work to a starter, whatever that path is. But the league, I think, has shown, and the message was pretty clear, you better be really, really talented, especially at quarterback, if we're going to put up with a lot of other attention, a lot of other things.
And he's just not that talented.
Let's go to the NFL, Colin, where the league has announced that the Atlanta Falcons have been fined $250 large and defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich $100,000 in response to Ulbrich's son prank calling Shedeur Sanders on draft day. The NFL attributed the fines to failing to prevent the disclosure of confidential information distributed to the club. Now, besides this, Adam Schefter's come out with other guys were prank called. I saw Abdul Carter was, Tyler Warren. Obviously not a great look for the Falcons here. And some people are starting to put some stuff together on the Falcons. They've had a lot of these fines for just not being buttoned up over the last, I think, like 9 years.
I thought the media overreacted a little bit to this, but I think these are appropriate fines. Kids do dumb stuff, but I have no problem fining the Falcons a quarter, $250,000. I have no problem with that. Like, do a better job. I have no problem with Jeff Ulbrich being fined. 21-year-old kids do dumb stuff. You put things in front of 21-year-old men, they're going to steal them sometimes and do dumb stuff and have bad judgment. I don't want to be too punitive on the kid who did something really dumb. He did apologize. But I got no problem fining the team and the coach. That to me feels appropriate.
Okay, so my issue is, who cares about a fine? Arthur Blank is, what, a billionaire? $250,000 is nothing. He finds that in his sofa cushions. Take away a draft pick. Tell me if every computer's unlocked and locked down leading up to next year's draft. Take away a draft pick. That's a real punitive fine.
Well, no, because here's the thing. Like a Spygate feels like a plan of attack by a team.
Yeah.
Take away a draft pick. A kid stealing a phone number off a laptop doesn't feel like it was planned by anybody. It's just a mistake. So, I mean, again, when you have something called gate, okay, that's different. I'll take a draft pick. That sounds like top down there was a plan. Like they thought Deflategate was that. That was nonsense. Spygate, though, let's be honest about that. Okay, this isn't premeditated. It's a mistake in life, and we all make them.
That's fair. That's a good counter by you. All right,